Thank you, Dr. Haddad, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, what I would like to share is about the Aceh case, but of course, I would like to maybe expand my presentation on the way forward and also some implication of the governance and also the accountability of managing such a big disaster and how we try to cope with the resilience in the agriculture sector and also other related sector in this case. So maybe I would like to start with this overview, but again, this is maybe the good thing to start about the governance and accountability in managing the big disaster of Aceh in 2004 and 2009. We established what we call the Agency for Rehabilitation and Reconstruction, which is very powerful one. And if we are talking about the governance, it is very centralized, which is because Indonesian case at the time we never had any experience actually working on the big disaster. We are still confusing actually what to do. So finally, we tried to establish a new institution. It has very powerful mandates directly from the president, and try also to have the mandates in doing coordination, doing implementation, and also doing command in managing such a big recovery effort actually in Aceh at that time. But that's only long until 4 years. But we know that the recovery process takes more than 4 years. Takes until now actually, if I can, candid telling you that the process is still going on actually in doing such a recovery process. Because if you are talking about infrastructure rehabilitation reconstruction, maybe it takes a very exact time, maybe 2 years, 3 years. We can rebuild the road, we can rebuild the irrigation facilities, we can rebuild or rehab the paddy field, and so on and so forth. But if we are talking about the livelihood, we are talking about the economic recovery, it takes more time than allocated. So that's why in this chart you can see that we try to make some two kind of period actually. Period of the BRR or the Agency of Rehabilitation and Reconstruction, and later on what we call it the existing institution, the central government, the provincial government or state government, and the local government. So the mandates has been devolved, has been shifted to the current institutions, which is quite difficult at a time because we don't have any experience also working on this kind of situation. By 4 years at the very beginning, it has the new agency or the special agency, and later on shifted and given the authority to the current institution. So that's the thing that needs some changing in mandates, assignment, and also some governance issues as well as the accountability issues appears in this process. And then we can see, if you are trying to see what will be the role of the central government, what is the role of the provincial government, and also the role of the local government, and including the communities. We can see here the X curve here, or the X chart here. We can see that the local government is not really well engaged in the process since the very beginning. They just sit, carefully and then just monitor the process. They are not really working on it. That's why when we try to shift the responsibility to them, they have the problem of the capacity. They have the problem of also the capability in managing such a big, assignment actually in this case. So the issue of the capacity, the issue of governance, the issue of the accountability appears very significantly in the process of the transition, what we call the transition period. If you are trying to see that 2005-2009, that's the BRR or the agency, special agency. 2010 and 2014, that's the transition period. So the governance has been transferred, and also the accountability needs to be also well managed by the local government and so on and so forth. So that's the thing that in this case that local government needs to be well strengthened and also transferred the authority from the central to the local level. Why we need to have such a transfer of responsibility? Because we are very concerned with the sustainability. As I mentioned, that the process is still going on, and now the local government is supposed to be the leading institution actually to taking care of such responsibility. And then maybe on the framework of the governance for post-disaster recovery policy in Indonesia, we also try to have been establishing what we call the National Disaster Management and also Provincial Disaster Management Agency, as well as the local Disaster Management Agency, as the agency that has the responsibility in continuing actually the mandates and also the responsibility of the previous special institutions such as BRR, and try to do such a coordination among different line agencies in the local level. So that's the thing that we would like also to share with you about the difficulties actually in doing such establishing such a new institution with a big mandates and responsibility. And on the basis of the budget, we also have already been trying to establish what we call the Indonesian Disaster Fund. So there's something like the pooling fund or the trust fund that already been started since the beginning of the recovery process with the coordination or with the chairmanship of the World Bank at that time. And then we try to take over the responsibility within the government institution and try to make it moving forward until now. So that's the thing that learning from the previous management of the funding, and now we been establishing such a new scheme of the disaster trust fund for recovery process. And then the future perspective on recovery framework here, I think this is going to be very good for us that the recovery framework already been adopted and make it simple actually in the local case, because we cannot just taken the experience from outside or from abroad, from the external partners, and try to adopt it totally in the current Indonesian context. And we try to make it local context, local wisdom, and also local components more significantly, rather than taking all the thing or just copying the thing into the policy in local context. And some lesson learned about those experience. I think this is going to be very good for us to see here that the recovery policy, the disaster risk reduction is also very important as one of the main issues to be embedded within the context of the policy for the recovery. I think started from Aceh and then other different mega disaster, we try to incorporate it actually disaster risk reduction, climate change adaptation into the recovery process, and the funding will be embedded into the recovery process funding here. And also the second one, strengthening local capacity, is very important. And also the third one is establishing the coordinating agency for disaster recovery or disaster risk reduction, and also this, for the emergency relief if it is any. And also what we call the post-disaster need assessment, human resources need assessment, and also the action plan. This is also very important. Based on the planning, we can do more about the accountability and also the governance in the system. And the final one for the funding, the trust fund, it needs to be well established and well managed by the government, especially to access those funding by the local government. And finally, is the decentralization fashion is very important. We cannot do such a big recovery process with the very centralized fashion as before, but we need to have it more decentralized towards the sustainability of this process. So I think that's all from myself.